Ayo, kiddos. I thought I would make a video for us to talk about kind of my goals for this week and to go over what you will be responsible for doing tomorrow. Now, originally, we would do synchronous Google Meets for 30 minutes, depending on the class period that I have you in. Now, I also know that there are many things happening in your houses and in your lives that involve the weather, the internet, technology, possible power outages, the whole works. You guys know I'm a single mom and I have Max, and so having Maximus in Google Meets does not usually work because a 2.5-year-old does not care about English like I do, and that's fine. But I thought rather than trying to make the information happen in that 30-minute scheme, I would make a video and I would walk through what you will be doing tomorrow and kind of the hope for the week so you can access it whenever you need to. Okay. You guys also know that I'm available via email, Google Classroom comments, anything. I answer as quickly as possible, and a lot of times I answer quicker than you think that I will. But I don't want you to stress about this week due to the blizzard like conditions outside. I decided it would be smarter for us to push pause on our short story units because it makes it difficult to make sure that you understand a full short story, nonetheless, not two short stories, and be able to discuss them. And so, what we are doing this week instead, we are looking at skill set strengthening. And so, it's things that we already do, but we're pausing on the short story aspect. And we're going to look at things like creative writing pieces and editing and reading comprehension and social emotional things. You may do a Flipgrid this week because those were absolutely too adorable for words. I was cracking up at some of y'all's humor that you used, and it was just awesome to see you guys do so well with a Flipgrid video. And more often than not, more likely than not, you'll probably do another poem rewrite because you all are blowing my mind with your poetry interpretations, and it makes my little poetry loving heart so happy. Okay, so what you did today was an attendance ticket, and it was very, very simple. You opened it, it was an exit ticket, and it was your name and your email, and then you click the checkbox for yes, that you understand that that's how you got attendance for today, because today was remote learning. Very simple, very straightforward. Even though this is the classroom screen of my first and fifth period, my second and seventh, and my fourth and eighth period kiddos, your week topic looks the exact same. Okay, so the first thing that I put on here is a creative writing assignment. And so I gave you a prompt starter, and you are creating your own 2-paragraph minimum story. And so when I say 2-paragraph minimum, I mean you are going to do 1 paragraph on one slide and 1 paragraph on another slide. And that does not mean that you're going to write each paragraph in like 72 size font. Okay. That also does not mean that you're just going to find the story online and then take it and make it yours, because cheaters never prosper. And so it's a fantasy based prompt. And so you need to like be creative with it. Obviously, like be appropriate. Don't be like weird with it. But your prompt for tomorrow is on the second slide, and it says, I was 5 years old when I discovered my powers. Okay. And you could take powers to mean anything. You could take it to mean magic. You could take it to mean superhero. You could take it to mean, I don't know, like a super really cool ability. Like you can just look at your closet and then it instantly organizes. I don't know. It's up to you. Now I don't want like weird things. Like nobody's going to be like, an ex-murderer or like creating a new pandemic or whatever it is. Okay. So have fun, but within limits. Okay. And so paragraph 1 goes on that slide, paragraph 2 goes on the other slide. You are able to add slides. If you were like really feeling that story, then go ahead and like write. I mean, obviously, if you gave me like 100 slides, that would be a lot. And at that point, if it was really good, we'd have to send you to a publisher so that we could publish you a book. Now, the next thing is a social emotional learning little hotspot, and it is dealing with self-esteem. And so what you are doing is you are reading that this says, what is self-esteem, ways to boost self-esteem. And so you're going to answer in the discover and the do. And so you're going to think about something that you're really good at, and you're going to find an image to represent your talents. Now, again, appropriate school images. I don't need to get worried and like call people. Okay. And then the do section is what is self-esteem. One way to improve self-esteem is to give yourself compliments. Write 2 compliments that you can give yourself below. That is so important. Make them actually valid compliments. From some of the classes that did this a few weeks ago in your quick write, when you focused on 5 positives about yourself and then 2 things that you could work on, and everybody super struggled with the positives. I think it's absolutely okay to like toot your own horn about something. Like if you can do like a super phenomenal gymnastics move, like do it. Like if you can speak sign language, tell me. Be kind to yourself, because we already live in a world that's not very kind already. And I think that you need to be able to love and accept yourself, because all of you guys are amazing as you are. Okay. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Now, the other 2 pieces are going to be off Teacher Pay Teachers, and they're digital activities. Now, when I click this, it's not going to let me log in, but I can access it in preview mode to show you. So the first one is a reading comprehension piece, and it's about the Hindenburg. And so you're going to read this piece. You're going to answer some vocabulary and semantics questions. So there's 10. And then there are comprehension and inference questions, and there's 7. So all in all, 17 questions for a 1, 2, 3 paragraph reading. But it's really to see if you are comprehending what the short story is telling you, or what that information piece is telling you. Okay. Now, the next one I'm very excited about. Again, I can access it in preview mode. You are going to do an editing activity. I'm very excited about this. This one is about 4 corners. And we know that we do daily proofreading every day with a sentence. Okay. And so there's like sometimes 6 proofreading mistakes. Sometimes there's like 1. Okay. This one has over 35 errors. Like, can you believe that? Like 35. It's bananas. Okay. And it's a summary of the Four Corners Monument. And so if you don't know what the Four Corners Monument is, it's essentially a big concrete pad, really out of the way, where 4 states are all intersecting and touching at this little point right there. And when I was younger and we went to see the Grand Canyon on our way to Vegas in California, I was very upset that my parents did not drive out of the way to go to this Four Corners. So if you've been to this Four Corners place, don't brag. It's not nice. No, I'm just kidding. That's cool. You're going to circle the errors on this page. You're going to you can highlight it. You can square it. I don't super care how you acknowledge the errors. And then it says to rewrite the entire essay correctly on a separate paper. If you can just add it on a Google Doc and then just rewrite it that way, it's not actually an essay more than it is like 3 paragraphs, and 2 of them aren't actually even full paragraphs because they're like 1 to 2 sentences. Now, am I expecting you to just stress over this and find all 35 errors? No. Do I think some of you guys will find 35 errors? Absolutely. Because some people will be determined to make sure that they found every single error. And that's totally fine. This is a practice for something of this scale. So obviously, if you don't get all 35, it's not the end of the world. And you'll do fine, okay? But it is something really important to master, and it's something that we're really still needing to get in the habit of, because looking at your PEA writings from last week with Scarlet Ibis or The Company Man, I still think that there's some people that when they type on Google Docs and they get that squiggle underneath the word, which means that there's something wrong with the word, I think some people still just kind of ignore it. And that's there to help you. If it's red, it's usually spelling. Green or blue can kind of be like syntax, mechanical grammar. But it never hurts to check the little squiggles underneath your words. Okay. Now, those are 4 pieces. If you notice, it says due February 19th, due February 19th, due February 19th, due February 19th. That means that these won't be considered late until after this coming Friday, okay? And so you will have some more things this week. These are not meant to take a super long time. So you should not take a very long time on them. Probably Wednesday, you guys will have another reading comprehension piece, another social emotional, and then you may work on a Flipgrid piece, and then Thursday you'll probably do an editing and a self-esteem, and then something else, and then something else on Friday. But I will post videos before every day telling us what we're going to do. But again, I decided to pause on super new short story material because reading it on your own, or for you to just watch a screencastify of me reading it, does not super make it exciting. And the stories that we're going to read are like absolutely infuriating and cool at the same time. And so we'll pick them back up when we get to go back in person, whenever this is. And yeah, so strengthening your skill set. It's all things that everybody needs practice with, even myself. And so I'm very interested to see your creative writing pieces. I very much want you to come up with 2 valid compliments for yourself for social emotional. Reading comprehension, do the best that you can. I realize the Hindenburg may not be like the coolest piece to read about, but it is an actually big piece of history. So it's important for you to have context for things. And then everybody needs help with editing. Everybody. Okay. You guys know that I am available to answer questions at any time. I am just simply pausing the Google Meet because one, I will have a 2.5-year-old running around me begging to play dinosaurs, specifically T-Rex dinosaurs. And 2, a lot of you have your parents at home, your siblings at home, and so sometimes Google Meets just aren't working for you. And so I wanted you to be able to have information before that, okay? Have a great night. Have a great week. If you go outside, dress warm because the wind chill can give you frostbite in 30 minutes, depending on your level of protection. And I will see you all later. I love you all. Have a good night.